Hello everyone, keep in mind before the review starts, because I know you guys clicked on this review to hear my thoughts about Boy and the Heron, but as a kind of disclaimer before we start the review, I'm not a huge Miyazaki fan first and foremost, so before we get into this, please note that opinions on this film will vary and you shouldn't just take my word on it. As someone who doesn't like anime or Miyazaki as a whole very much, I do respect him and his work, which we will get into, and I did enjoy the film in certain aspects of it, but just know that some of the matter that I didn't like as much might actually vary by person, so just keep that with the open mind as you go into this review. Hello everyone and welcome back to MD3. Today we're reviewing Hayao Miyazaki's newest film, The Boy and the Heron, which I got the opportunity to see last week at the Chicago International Film Festival at the Music Box Theater, which is a historic venue, so that was a very cool experience. I was going to cover this sooner, but there was a little indie film called Killers of the Flower Moon that released this week, and I kind of need to make a video on that before I made a video on this, so I apologize for getting this up late, but yeah, we're going to just get it right into it. This was quite possibly one of my most anticipated films of the year because although, as I mentioned in the intro, I'm not a huge fan of Miyazaki's work, I do like his worlds, I do like his style, and he makes a lot of fun movies, and I respect him as a filmmaker a lot. I like Princess Mononoke, even though I'm not a huge anime fan. Also, I had to see this at SIFF because this is quote-unquote his last work. I don't know if that's true or not. There's been various sources that have come out and said it either is or isn't, so I'm not sure if that's entirely true, but I was under the impression that was, so that's kind of how I saw it and why I saw it. For this review, I'm going to keep the plot under wraps as best I can because of the limited marketing for this film. If you don't know, the big thing about this film is that they haven't released anything besides like a very, very short teaser trailer for this because Ghibli and Miyazaki both think that trailers reveal too much nowadays and that they need to keep this under wraps so that audiences have a genuine surprise going in, which I think is a very cool thing that more films nowadays should aim to do. And that's why I'm going to also keep my review kind of under wraps in terms of plot and specifics, because I'm going to get into a lot of the elements that I enjoyed about this film, but there's going to be a lot that I kind of don't get into specifics. So don't think that I'm doing like a bad review where I'm like not telling you guys specifically what I liked and didn't like. I'm just trying to preserve the cinematic experience of this film for you guys so that you guys can enjoy this just as much as I enjoyed it at SIFF. So because of that, if you notice in my other videos that I use trailer footage over me talking, that's not going to be the case for this because I do feel like the trailer they released kind of reveals some of the surprises. So I'm actually going to use different promotional stills that they've released in the past few weeks as placement for that. But without further ado, let's get into the review. Boy and the Heron definitely hits all the trademarks of a Miyazaki film that you would expect. It's strange at times, it's very humorous, it's dramatic, it's sometimes terrifying, and it's emotional. All in one film. It combines all these different elements into a seamless combination that really fits his style and will definitely please fans of Miyazaki and his work. The plot immediately grabs you from the beginning as well. There's a breathtaking opening sequence that left no one talking in the theater. Everyone was just like intently watching. And from there, it really doesn't let you go over the next 2 hours. The runtime flies by in this film because you are looking at this vibrant and creative world in front of you, and it's just very entertaining to watch. The lead character, Mahito, is very likable and charismatic. I thought he was a very fun character to follow over the course of the 2 hours, and the way we experience events through his mindset really transports you into the kind of mindset of this character, which was very cool. And I gotta say that the best character in this film, without going into specifics, of course, it's kind of just hard to review this film without going into specifics, but I'm gonna say that the best character and the most humorous character was definitely the Heron. That's kind of noted in the title of the film. He's absolutely hilarious and probably the best character in this thing. And he's also being played by Robert Pattinson in the English dub, which is interesting casting. The animation, as you would expect, is breathtaking. It is truly so richly detailed, and even for Ghibli standards, they have amazing animation in all their films, but this one in particular really stuck out to me. It's so richly detailed and intricate. Each scene is fully captivating and gorgeous to look at. The amount of detail that goes into all of these scenes is just mind-blowing, and it really shocked me to no end. It does take a while to fully set up the plot and the world building and the characters, and stuff can seem strange and odd at first, but once you kind of settle into it and once the film does get going, it becomes such an engaging watch. And the ending is so heartfelt. There's no spoilers here, of course, in this review, but it's such a heartfelt moment that if it is honestly Miyazaki's last work, I cannot imagine a better ending for his filmography and his career. It is so bittersweet and poignant and heartfelt and just so heartwarming. Now let's get into some of the negatives about this film. There's nothing really negative about this film per se, it's just stuff that I really didn't care for. This is probably just a me thing because people do like the film Spirited Away and I don't really care for it, but this film reminded me of Spirited Away in the fact that it doesn't really have a set plot, but instead it's kind of like Spirited Away, and where it has just randomly placed events throughout, occurring one after another, and it's kind of held together by this like thin plot structure, which if that's your thing and you like Spirited Away, you're gonna love this film, trust me. But for me personally, who doesn't really like that kind of style, I wasn't able to fully grasp exactly what was happening. This is also a lot of movie for the 2-hour runtime. The ending in particular is extremely rushed, and the last 30 minutes struggle to wrap everything up in terms of like complexity and just perfect kind of wrap up of an ending. It moves at a breakneck pace at the end, and it doesn't really stop. So you have to kind of be prepared going into that the film is definitely going to speed up and pick up momentum as it goes on, because there's a lot of plot that they have to tie up in such a short time. So it's kind of difficult on that end to do, and I acknowledge that, and I don't think it's a fault of the film, because I think that it could have been longer. But I do think that it does rush, definitely, and I think it might catch some viewers off guard. It's also very, very weird, and for someone like myself who's not really into anime or Miyazaki as a whole, I have a hard time watching his films and getting into these strange elements, and there has never been a more clear example of him using these strange elements here. Overall though, this is a film that I definitely need to watch again, because it just is so difficult to wrap my head around how much themes and complexity there was this first viewing. There's definitely a rewatchability factor of this 100%. I feel like on rewatch I'll be able to kind of pick up on different things that I missed the first time, because it is such a complex film. That's the thing about this film. It's so rich and complex, and you really will miss a lot on first viewing. So I think that with the rewatches it will kind of click into place for me, hopefully. In terms of animated films this year, I do see a lot of buzz because Spider-Verse of course has released, and also this film is releasing, and people are like, oh, what's gonna win? I do believe personally this is the best animated film I've seen all year. I think it's better than Spider-Verse. And I think that it definitely will compete with Spider-Verse for that animation award come March of next year. I did enjoy the film and I walked out of it pleasantly surprised. I'm rating this based off of pure instinct because I just need to rate it off what I felt that first viewing, because I need to watch it again to kind of really grasp about everything about this film, because there's a lot. But if I'm going with a gut feeling on this rating, this is a perfect rating to go with. I feel like it kind of encapsulates everything I loved and kind of didn't love about this film. But for now, this is the rating I'm giving it. Again, it's subject to change. But for now, I would give The Boy and the Heron an 87 out of 100. The Boy and the Heron is playing in theaters everywhere starting December 8th. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. If you are new to my channel, please do not forget to click that subscribe button down below, like the video, and turn on the push notifications icon so you can be notified whenever a new video drops. That being said, this is Mitchell signing off. Peace out.